Welcome to Quantum Finance. My name is Parker. I'm the head trader here, but I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. So in today's video, we'll take a look at the economic data, we'll go over some news, then we'll do our market recap and market analysis. So starting here on the economic data, we did have the US ISM manufacturing PMI come out at 47.1 with 46.8 expected. Turning to the calendar, tomorrow, Tuesday, May 2nd, we get JOLTS job openings. Now we can look at some news. So we did have the FDIC seize First Republic and agree to sell the bank to JP Morgan. And JP Morgan will assume 92 billion of First Republic's deposits and 173 billions in loans and 30 billion in securities, with the FDIC covering 13 billion in losses. So with this acquisition, JP Morgan has bypassed the laws against acquiring bank while controlling 10% plus of U.S. deposits. They are sharing that $13 billion loss with the FDIC. They received a $50 billion loan from the FDIC. They bought back their own deposits, and they expect to profit $5 billion over the next 5 years. And they have added $18 billion in market cap just this morning alone. And here we have the percentage of deposits controlled by U.S. banks. As you can see, the top three here with JP Morgan at 16%, Bank of America at 14.8%, and Wells Fargo at 10.9%. With the top 15 banks controlling 75% of deposits in the U.S. And here we have First Republic Bank was the second largest bank failure in U.S. history, following only Washington Mutual during the Great Financial Crisis. And this is a chart here of First Republic Bank, as you can see, just the massive death candle here. And we have Syria calling to abandon the U.S. dollar in its global transactions and adopting the Chinese yuan. And this is the contribution to global GDP growth. In 2002, you can see the G7 was 42% and the BRICS nations were 19%. And as of 2022, the G7 was at 30% with the BRICS at 31%. And we have more than 110 nations developing a central bank digital currency, says the chief of the IMF. And we have the Ripple and the SEC having a undisclosed meeting on Monday, May 8th. So now we can do our market recap here, starting in the debt market. We have the U.S. 10-year yield getting a big green day here, getting up through that midline, working its way up here towards this upper extreme, getting through that midline slightly here on the weekly chart. We can look at the dollar now. So the dollar getting a green day as well, getting up through that midline too, a lot like the 10-year yield, as you can see, kind of bottoming down here on this lower extreme here on the weekly chart, and really tight here on the daily chart. So would expect maybe some larger move here in the dollar coming up. Turning to stocks, as you can see, big hammer till day, slight green day, but red on the percent changes for the day, so we're going to chalk it up as a red day today. Looking at crypto, we'll start here with XRP getting another red day here, getting more continuation to the downside after getting rejected off that midline here on the daily chart. Still sitting up here above that midline after that wick we got last week on the weekly chart. Turning to commodities, we'll start here in oil. Sorry, let me turn this off log. So oil here, we have a red day here after getting that wick off the lower extreme on Friday. But as you can see here, just still sitting down here at the lower end of this daily range, right above this lower extreme here. So gold, big red day here in gold after getting a large wick to the downside, getting through that midline here and approaching these lower wicks that we've been holding at for the last couple days. Starting the month red here, getting inside of this upper extreme here. So we can look at silver. Silver getting a red day here with looks like I don't know if this is right, but a massive wick here to the downside. Starting the month off red too after wicking off that upper extreme last month. So now we can do our market analysis here. We'll start on the monthly chart because we did get a new monthly candle open today. As you can see, last month we did have a nice green close up here. And we did get this trade line crossing above the 20 EMA, which is a bullish cross to the upside. As you can see, just sitting here right here in the middle of this monthly range, right above that midline. So pretty decent monthly close here that we got for April. So now we can look at our 3-minute chart here. So we opened up right here. As you can see, pretty choppy day. Really just getting a push up the highs, then getting a pretty big drop to new lows, then getting a strong bounce, to new highs pulling back to new lows and, closing fairly red here below VWAP. So as you can see, pretty choppy day. We can zoom out a little more here. So as you can see, we did have this rising wedge pattern. Where did we open up? So we opened up here on the 15-minute chart. And as you can see, this rising wedge pattern that we had, that we did break going into the close about here at 2 o'clock, which did leave for a nice, kind of sell-off here down to this lower extreme here on the 15-minute chart. As you can see, the weakness that we did have in this falling wedge, which is a bearish reversal pattern, down here on the MACD with bearish MACD. Kind of curling to the downside here after getting a really large, massive push up here in momentum. Kind of topping out here after getting a push through this high, but kind of pulling back into that level here. So now we can look at the VIX and the NASDAQ. As you can see, the VIX getting a couple green candles here, kind of, with a large wicks to the upside here. Kind of a bottoming structure here on the VIX, running into that significant level here from last week. As you can see, the NASDAQ too, kind of getting a push up through the significant resistance here and kind of pulling back into it here towards the close. So now we can talk about some trades. I do want to pull up that wedge pattern here that I showed on the 15-minute. So this is where we opened right here. As you can see today, obviously the best trades would have been shorting into the upper trend line and longing into the lower trend line, as you can see, and then really nice trade here on this rising wedge breakout here. But if you wanted to play more of a VWAP strategy, a good way to take advantage of, this move down to this lower trend line, as you see, getting this breakthrough VWAP here on this push up, getting short into the VWAP, and then, pretty much just a quick trade, quick scalp down to this lower extreme. And then also here on the upside, getting long as we're holding above this VWAP and, taking profit here. And then obviously this would have been a nice short here on this falling wedge breakdown here as you're getting down through VWAP. So yeah, pretty big range today, just bouncing through this rising wedge and eventually breaking down here into the close. So pretty nice day today. I usually start with the volume analysis. I should have done that. But as you can see here, low volume day, below that volume average, but pretty much just majority selling today. As you can see, just a lot of red here on our volume. Getting a wick off that upper extreme here on the daily chart. But yep, that should do it for the video. Appreciate y'all watching, and I will talk to y'all later.